congratulate him. He said, if Jimmy wins it, I'll be just as happy as if I win it. And that usually sounds like a crock of the well-known article, but it was absolutely the case.
The character Sipowicz, we talked about this, we just touched on this the last time you were here before Christmas, that big chunks of Sipowicz are David Milch's dad. Dr. Milch, huh?
Dr. Milch, yeah. It's so transmuted. I mean, my dad wasn't a cop, but my dad, although sometimes he felt like a cop to me.
Well, when you were around,
yeah. But he had a lot of Sipowicz's problems. He had Sipowicz's obsessiveness, and most importantly, from my point of view, he had Sipowicz's sort of indirect capacity for love. And I think I might have mentioned to you that living with my dad attuned one to all of the permutations and exotic expressions of love. I was thinking on the way over here that how much I loved spending time with my father in any capacity, and that one of the reasons I love horse racing is because that was the...
You and he used to sneak to the track.
Yeah, and I was remembering that when the family would go to Florida, and the only day I'd see my dad was Sunday, which was the day that Gulfstream was closed, and he and his uncles, my great-uncles, used to hang around the pool, and they would give my brother and I different weights to carry, and organize races around the pool, and they would bet on us. and
hey, honey, let's bet on the kids.
And it was only when one of my great uncles tried to fix one of the races that I drew the line. I wasn't about to throw a race.
The last time that you were here, and I'm going to ask you to repeat this story because I think it gives an insight into your father's character. And when you say obsessive, if anything changed his routine or upset the pattern, he became quite upset. And you mentioned last time that somebody sent him a phonograph player.
Oh, yeah, and my dad had a room where he would come and have his drink just before dinner, and great trepidation because we knew that this was disturbing the ecology of my father's life was not a prudent course. But anyway, we had it in there because we didn't know what else to do with it. And when he saw it, he confronted it as if it were some creature crouched and waiting to spring.
Alien creature, yeah.
And it was a record player, you know. And I said, it's a record player. And he said, what the hell is this? It's a record player. Frank Sinatra, like
Dean Martin, Judy Garland.
But it was no good.
No.
And he tossed the record player.
Right.
But there were more benign manifestations of the same. I mean, my dad used to lay out the same number of squares of toilet paper, for example, in the evening in anticipation of the morning's requirements. And he was a guy who liked life organized.
Let me ask you a question. How did you know when he loved you and when he didn't? How could you get his attention? How could you get his love if he was in these different patterns?
Well, for one thing, you took it on faith, and in a curious way, that's a great gift for one person to be able to give another, that no matter how strange the manifestations of behavior at a certain, and you can tell kids who are loved, who come from a house where there's love, they meet the world with a certain kind of confidence, and as complicated a relationship as I had with my dad, one left the house trusting the world because you knew that you were loved.
How about when you and he went to the track?
Yeah, that was great.
Did he love it there? Did he?
Yeah, and you could see him unwind, quote unquote, and that was terrific. When my dad ruptured an ulcer perforated an ulcer at the racetrack, and he thought he was dying, and so he had him line up a bunch of shots of scotch because if he was going stiff, which is marvelously therapeutic for an open ulcer. Yeah. But I I think under the circumstances, there was no other place he would rather have been if he had to have perforated. And imagine his surprise when it turned out he wasn't having a heart attack.
You were just, damn, a perforated ulcer. Yeah. And he would have an accident long before you were born that would have an effect on your life. He was in a very bad car accident before you were born.
Yeah, and that had a number of results, one of which, I mean, he was beat up very badly, and he was hospitalized for a couple of years, and he didn't really get to know my brother. My brother Bob had just been born when my dad was in the accident, and I think there was some uncertainty as to what his procreative capacities would be in the aftermath of the accident, and so the fact that my mom got pregnant with me, I think, was a big thing for him, and in some ways probably made me the object of a lot of psychic attention. None of which I regret, but
between you and your brother Robert, were you the apple of your father's eye?
I guess in a way, although my dad adored my brother as my brother did. He and Bobby became a surgeon just the way my dad was, and became a professor of medicine, and I became a reprobate. And in the divvying up of the cards, I guess that was about...
He got the surgeon genes, and you got the reprobate genes, huh? Yeah. Was drinking a problem for your father? Did you ever see your dad drunk?
Oh, I'm not real comfortable talking about this.
Then don't.
Yeah, I mean, he enjoyed, my dad certainly enjoyed his libations, and I can testify that that I did among other things. I liked Freon, I liked tire sealer.
Freon? What do you do with Freon?
Just what you imagine. You do it, kids at home, don't try this, but there was a time when you would slit the lining of refrigerators and inhale mightily. But that was another time.
But is that a high?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and the...
So in other words, like if you're in a car accident...
I can tell you...
And you burst the Freon, get up there quick.
Small consolation. Once when aficionados of glue will respond to this story, when you're always trying to civilize your behavior. So when you go into a hobby store, you consider all of the aircraft carriers, and I think I'll have the USS Missouri, and then on your... Oh, and let me have 2 gross of testers.
Just
as an afterthought.
Yeah. How did you and Substance start? What, was it an innocent thing? Were you just fooling around?
Guess it's never innocent, but I
mean, my brother and I, we built the boats and the airplanes, and we had the testers. And we never thought it just never occurred to us.
I want to be careful about this because it's great to have survived all of this, and I certainly don't want to be conveying an impression that I take lightly the great fortune that I've had in being able to get past it. So having said that, how it starts, I guess, is the highfalutin expression is you medicate pain, or but I was, from the time I was 12 years old, I was bending the elbow pretty good, and then graduated to all sorts of other nonsense, and it starts to, I mean, it's a deal that you make. You insulate yourself from whatever is causing pain outside that, and addiction will give you everything as long as you give it everything.
That's right. You have to continue feeding it.
And that's how you wind up. I can remember when I first moved out here, after I was an addict all through the time that I was teaching at Yale, and never owned anything. I mean I didn't own anything, because
not a car, not a house, not a TV set.
A house, because you had to keep your value system straight. You had to cop every day, and it makes for rather a strange combination of you know, you're teaching school and maintaining, and it was important to me to be responsible in meeting my obligations as a teacher and everything. And at the same time, you know, you're living rather a strange life with some strange companions. Do you have 2 minutes?
I do. I have to do a fast break,
Sure.
and then I have more than 2 minutes.
Okay.
We're with David Milch. The book is called True Blue. This takes you behind the scenes of NYPD Blue. The toll-free is up and running at 952-2788. We'll be right back after these messages. We're with David Milch, who is the author of True Blue, and here's Terry on the toll-free in New York, New York. Hello.
Hi.
Good evening, Terry.
Good evening. I just wanted to say hi first to Tom quickly.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Hi back.
And just say that I love your show, and you're just like this kind, gentle soul. I don't know. I can't put words to it, but...
Those will do for now, Terry. Thank you, but please say hello to David.
Okay. Hi, Mr. Milch.
How are you? And I echo your sentiments about Mr. Snyder.
I wanted to ask you, and if I can get this word out correctly, I wanted to know, how do you get your authenticity, did I say that right?
Yeah.
In writing for NYPD Blue, because I have people that I live in the Lower East Side, and I also have relatives that are on the force, the police force, and just like, it's so realistic and so on the mark. I just was wondering, you know, where did you get that niche?
Authenticity.
Yeah.
Well, first, thank you very much. And Bill Clark, with whom I wrote True Blue, who was a first-grade detective in New York City and just retired from the force, is the source of the authenticity of our stories. And in terms of the vernacular of the language of the show, I try to be attentive to the rhythms and textures of the way people speak. And I think that it's very important for writing, and so I take my...
I also think that having spent the better part of 50 years on this planet and having gone through all of the experiences, both personally and professionally, that you have, you can draw upon this resource.
That
and
helps a little bit,
I'm
too.
sure you, when you sit down to write, you bring every day of your life to when you sit at that keyboard.
And having survived the period of time that we were talking about a little while ago, if you survive it, it really is an enormous resource, because you've met all different kinds of people. If you'll permit me, this isn't exactly responsive, but I did want to tell a story that had occurred to me just before the...
by the way, the 2 minutes are available now.
Okay.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Terry, I hope you will enjoy this.
I'm sure I will.
What made me think about it was when I went on your show the last time, the one thing, this is going to wind up a tribute to my wife, that I knew I was going to do myself a little good was at home, because I had been on another show, and in discussing my nefarious existence, at a certain point, the interviewer said, well, what turned you around? And like an idiot, I said, having been in a 12-step program, you know, well, at a certain point you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, which I thought was a
clever, brilliant remark.
And so now I get off the interview, and which I thought went well, you know, and I said, well, you know, honey,
how'd I do?
What'd you think?
Yeah, whammo.
She says, yeah, good, but not great.
Not great.
I says, what? She says, you know, what turned you around, that was the B answer. So now, I'm on the Tom Snyder show, and you get to the point, she says, well, what turned you around? I says, Tom, and I'm so grateful to you. I says, privately, I'm so grateful to you. I says, Tom, the love of a...
So now, you get home
without any irony,
Amen.
right? So now, I get home.
Hi, honey.
Hi, honey.
How'd I do?
Well, we haven't been on, see, in
L.A.
In L.A.
Right.
Now,
let's watch it together and see.
Exactly.
Right.
She's asleep. She's asleep. I say, honey, here it comes. You know, I mean, just, I don't know what's coming, but I think this is a good part. This is a good part. So she slept through it, and I want to say, enough at some point.
The reason that you turned it around was the love of your wife.
Why, Tom, now that you bring it up, that's exactly the case. Let me, oh, wait.
Do you mean it's taken you 3 damn interviews to get this out?
Wait a second.
Jeez, Terry, you want to believe this now?
Do we have 2 more minutes?
Sure we do.
Okay, here's the story of my first date with my wife.
Okay.
And this will also indicate something of the complexities of my existence when I was a school teacher. Because I have all these bad habits, right? So, and I'm a school teacher, and I'm teaching.
You're a respectable teacher at Yale, prestigious university, and on the side you're
my wife was never a student of mine, but she was a student at Yale. So she has sort of a crush, and we're talking, and
yeah, it's the old shimmering moonlight and the martinis. I understand.
A High Life Fronton has just opened in Milford, Connecticut, nearby. Degenerate gambler as I am, you know, she would like to go out. I said, well, I got a great idea. Wouldn't you like to go to the High Life Fronton? It's the first night that it's open. Which wasn't, you know, I don't think was the first thing on her list, but she says, okay. I said, got any money? and
no point going if we don't have any cash.
And she says, yeah. I says, how about a car? You know, so we get out there, and so we're about to go to her car, and this kid comes up to me on the street who I had worked with in an inner city program years before, Oscar, and with such success that he had gone away for armed robbery. And so now he's just gotten out.
Yeah.
And he says, I says, Oscar, how you doing? He says, great. I says, we're going to High Life Fronton. You want to come?
Just what the gal needs, another guy. Yeah, right, perfect,
yeah. And so he says, yeah. So we go out there. We go broke in like 3 cestas or whatever it's called. But it was the opening night. And so now we're walking out. I'm trying to maintain my dignity. I said, this happens on occasion, you know, but usually I beat their brains out. So, because it's the first night, there's no lights in the parking lot.
Gotcha.
So, as we walk out, I say, you know, where other people are wallowing in remorse, I see opportunity. I says, Oscar, smash me in the face. And he says, you know, I'm on parole, I can't. I says, Oscar, did I take care of you when you were a kid? I want you to hit me as hard as you can in the face because we're about to make a lot of money. So he says, okay, so
wait, hold on. Let me just do a fast break here. Oscar's about to smash you right in the face.
Okay, go ahead.
You're in the parking lot with the fair lady, okay?
Yes.
And
you have to take a break.
And I'm going to take a break.
Okay.
And the dramatic, and Terry, don't move, okay?
Okay.
Terry.
Stay right there. All right, now.
Big finish.
Yeah, the dramatic conclusion.
I want to hear this.
You want to hear it. All America's at the edge of their bed, you know, for the ta-da. That's okay. Back with David Milch and Terry and you on the toll-free after this break. Life Fronton in Milford, Connecticut, opening night. You and what is the lady's name?
Rita.
And the fair Rita.
And Oscar.
And Oscar, your friend. And you're there, and it's dark, and you say, hit me as hard as you can.
I say to Oscar, strike me. He says, and then what? I says, and then we're going to get $10,000 minimum. You're going to get a piece. You're going to escape into the woods. It'll take me an hour to do what I got to do, and then I'll pick you up. So now he's crying. He says, I don't want to. I says, Oscar. So he smacks me in the face. I says, one more time. Bang, he smacks me in the face. So now I got blood pouring down my face. I take and I rip my shirt, and I say to Rita, you're just going to be my witness. Whatever I say, you say, yeah, that's what happened. She says, I says, what's going to happen? We're going up to security guard. We're going to say, I got robbed here. The lights are out.
And they're liable.
And they're liable, and that's $10,000 without a lawyer. So Oscar runs into the woods, so now we're walking up to the security guard, and we get up there. I said, you know what, this is malarkey. This is stupid, because what I'm thinking is, if I do this, I'm not going to be able to cop later on. So I said, it's just dumb. Forget this. So now we turn around, we get into the car. My shirt's ripped.
Bleeding.
I got a broken nose. And I knew that if Rita would go out with me a second time after that, that we were in it for the long haul.
You know, your writing has improved over the years. No, I mean,
I mean, that's a bad story.
I mean, if you ever put that story in NYPD Blue, that's a 2-share. I can tell you, click, 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 click.
But there was an ad that intervened. You know, if it had had some continuity.
Terry, I'm glad you called. Thanks for
Forgive me,
Can I
Terry.
just say something really quickly?
Sure you can.
Okay, I just want to say continued success, Tom.
Okay, thanks.
And continued success to Sir David Milch. And can you give my congratulations to Jimmy Smith for the
with great pleasure.
Golden Globe? He definitely deserves it. Much
did.
respect to Hispanics in the world.
Well, I will convey that happily to Jimmy, and thank you for your call.
Okay, have a very good night to both of you.
All right, thanks, Terry.
Right.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Incidentally, were you still at the awards when Sharon Stone received the Golden Globe for Casino?
Yes, we were.
Those of us who watched on television said, you know, when she said the line, well, let's face it, it's a miracle, we felt that there was a word missing from that sentence as we heard it on
Yeah.
So coming to Hollywood changed your life, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. You know, one had to sort of eliminate it didn't change it in a minute. Another anecdote.
Okay. Well, let me do the fast break, and then you'll come back for a few more. And you'll how long will the anecdote take?
It won't take long.
Well, you said that the last time. Back with David Milch, and you, if time permits, after these messages. All right, now, what is the time constraint here?
3.5 minutes.
3.5 minutes, they're all yours for the story.
Okay, well, you had asked about adjustments, and when I came out here, there were all sorts of vestiges of sociopathy that I had to shed gradually. I had never had a driver's license or as part of not owning anything,
and here you have to have that to get around.
Yeah, but I was so resolute when I first came out here about not making mistakes that I just worked all the time. But finally I got a car, and my boss, you know, Steven said, you know, you're making a buck now, you got to be careful, get a license, get insurance. But I think as a holdover from, you know, my ambivalence towards authority. Anyway, I never got any of that stuff. So I'm driving. I got this car in a sort of illicit transaction. I have no license. I got no registration.
No insurance.
I'm on Fountain behind the Old World. A guy comes out from between the cars, bang, and goes off the windshield of the car. And he's down, you know, over, and I says to myself, Dave, get out of the car and meet the citizen you're working for the rest of your life. So I get out of the car, and this guy's up. I says, sir, are you all right? He starts running away. So I'm saying, oh, come back, you know. and as it turned out, he had just robbed the Old World. And he split, so that was good fortune on my part.
And did you eventually register the car or get a registered car with a license?
Through the intervention of the recently departed Jess Brewer, the deputy commissioner. He sort of checked and saw what my circumstances were and ran a little interference. And yes, now I am entitled, if not totally enfranchised.
It can be a problem if you're not. You know, there was a member of my family, that had been my daughter one time, who decided that registration was totally unnecessary. And after many thousands of dollars, I said, wouldn't it have been a lot easier to just pay the $129 and have it be done with, you know? Because they have these little rules and regulations as we go through that they would like us to observe. You know, I too wonder, as I've said many times, there's a street here in town, 3rd Street, where they have the signs, no left turn between 4 and 7 o'clock. Why they bothered printing them all up, I have no idea, because nobody pays any attention to them, okay?
That's right.
Do you maintain your love for horses to this day?
Yeah.
Do you own horses?
I do, although it depends on who I'm lying to as to how many I own.
Yeah.
But I was lucky enough to own the Champion in America a couple of years ago, and that we won the Breeders' Cup, and that was a lot of fun. If I may, I would like to. I know that our time is about out.
Extremely limited.
Bill Clark, with whom I wrote the book, True Blue, got married last Monday to his former partner, Karen Krizan, And just by way of putting a little bit in perspective, all of these anecdotes.
And this is 30 seconds. They're all yours.
That we've been sharing. My beautiful daughter, our youngest daughter, Olivia, came down with the ring, and my son, Ben, stood next to me as the best man. And our daughter, Elizabeth, who had just performed Lady Macbeth 2 nights before and had given the speech about a tale told by an idiot signifying nothing. That was a wonderful moment, and it occurred to me that it wasn't, it may be a tale told by an idiot, but it sure felt like it meant something.
I thank you for coming in on short notice. I look forward to our next visit.
My
we'll
pleasure.
start with the when you bought the first horse.
Okay.
David Milch, NYPD Blue, ABC Tuesdays, and now with Bill Clark, the book True Blue. We'll be right back after these messages. Tonight, Bruce Dern. Join me now with Steve on the radio, 800-890-9990. Back tomorrow night. Same time, same station.